A little bit of stress can be a good thing too.
I agree. I think we were speaking about it earlier on this
definitely.
morning. There is, especially amongst boys as well, they often do need that little bit of stress to start working, which is why often cramming can be beneficial. So there's never too late a moment to start unless you're going to start preparing for your A-levels the day before. But talking about managing the parents' expectations, if you have this clear plan so that at meal times you know you stop working, or at 8 o'clock in the evening you stop working, at least that's been agreed between the parents and the children. So that can also help. So it's not just you step away and you bite your lip, but you've agreed this plan, this revision plan together, and you stick to it.
Yeah. Is it a myth, or is it true that you take in more if you listen to it or read it just before you go to sleep?
I'm not entirely sure. What do you...
Yeah, I think it depends on your learning style, as you were mentioning before.
But they actually did some studies about chewing gum, didn't they? That was proved...
Yeah, they did some studies at Loughborough University, and what they discovered was that chewing gum actually can increase your recall of information by up to 35%.
Really?
How strange is that?
And drinking lots of water as well.
Yeah.
If you drink lots of water, that increases your brain power.
Yeah, well, keeping hydrated is really important. Eating, because a lot of children actually do stop eating. You know, they just, because they're so...
The saddest bit for me is that, you know, you expect A-levels and GCSEs and university exams, things like that, but when you're talking about little children, 7-year-olds, and they're sitting SATs and things like that, how can you guide a 7-year-old through that time? It's the very first exams that they'll ever be taking.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first ones that they do aren't quite as sort of obvious in that, as I understand it, that is kind of stretched out over a period of time. However, what we would suggest is if you're going to talk about tests with children and SATs, I think it's more about helping them to understand that this is just to see how you're getting on, so that if you need a little bit of help in something else, so that you can enjoy school more, we can work on that. So it's helping them to understand that actually it's a positive and not something to fear.
What are your thoughts on testing young children? It's kicked off quite recently in the papers, as we saw. Yeah.
Now, as a former teacher myself, I understand the importance of assessing progress and measuring progress. So you need to have this baseline measure, which is the reason why schools use it. Testing students from the age of 6 or 7, personally, I don't agree with it. I don't think it's a good idea. But you do need to be able to make a comparison so you can then stream students when they're older. And those tests they use at the age of 6, 7 and 8 are always accurate and can be used to predict future performance.
But they are done in a kind of softer way, I believe, aren't they? And it's that the children wouldn't actually know what they were doing.
But if they're being used to predict your future performance later on, from the age of 7, it's like, oh, what, do they write you off and put you on the scrap heap then? But that's, there you go,
But if you look at it from a positive point of view, it gives you look at areas that can actually be assisted with. And
yeah, but I think it's got to be done in a very sort of kind way without
and have
any
time
pressure.
to let them play.
Oh, absolutely. Children have got to be allowed to be children. That even no matter what age, whether it's GCSE, A-levels, or even children, sort of little ones, they've got to have a time to be children and to chill.
Well, thank you very much.